y'all, so today we're going to review this Gibraltar brake tilter style cymbal stand. We're going to look at this and compare it in depth to one of the cheaper, more standard style stands from Gibraltar. So Gibraltar's official name for this is long cymbal boom arm with brake tilter. Model is SC-LBBT. I'll have the full name and the model number in the description below. I do want to call that out because Gibraltar does also make a short version of this stand as well. And that has a different model. So that one is SBBT, short boom brake tilter. This is the LBBT, long boom brake tilter. So for the dimensions on this model, it has a 16-inch downpipe, an 18-inch boom arm, and the diameter of the downpipe is 7/8 of an inch. So this would fit well into, say, a Pearl rack, but would not fit well into a DW brand rack. This stand is also only the top section, as you can see. There is no bottom, there's no base. So it is meant to be racked. So again, since this is Gibraltar, it would be fine in a Gibraltar rack. Pearl rack would be fine, but it won't go well with your DW hardware. If you're not into using racks, Gibraltar does have a version of this that has a base as well. It is quite a bit more money, of course, because there's more hardware involved, but they do have a brake tilter option for those full set stands as well. So as the product's name implies, it does have a brake tilter. That's this piece up in here. But before we get into this, let's take a look at some of the other less obvious things that are different between this and the cheaper model that's not so well advertised when you look at the product descriptions. First up, memory locks. The cheaper stand, it doesn't come with any memory locks at all. You can see there's one on there right now, but that was added by me aftermarket. That's a Pearl brand memory lock, in case you're wondering. This more expensive brake tilter stand comes with two memory locks. One on the downpipe, which you typically would expect, but it also has one on the boom arm. The felts are actually much bigger on the more expensive stand as well. And it should be noted that the cymbal sleeve on here is not just some typical sleeve that you can throw on. This one actually is adjustable, so it can rotate up and down, as you can see here. This is probably useful if, say, you wanted to adjust how tight or how choked your cymbal is on the stand. Now for the adjusting portion of the stand where the boom arm slides through the downpipe, on the cheaper stand, there's only one adjustment point. So everything, the angle of the boom arm and the length slash rotation of the boom arm, everything is adjusted by a single point. On this more expensive stand, you can see that there's two different points where you can make adjustments. So one of them takes care of just the angle of the boom arm. And then the other, of course, allows you to adjust the length and the rotation of the boom. This will make it a lot easier after the fact if you're trying to make some minor adjustments. Sometimes you go in and you want to just change the length a little bit and the whole angle changes on you. And it sometimes can be a little frustrating, especially if you're at a show and you have to make a quick adjustment. So this actually makes it a lot easier for you to do things, especially if you're trying to do it one-handed. Okay, so now on to the brake tilter. So with most stands, these adjustment points are done with a sort of gear. So there's these teeth, right, on both sides, on two different sets of gears, two sets of teeth, and they have to join together. The angle at which that you can set something is limited. That position is limited based on the placement of the teeth. So you can't make very fine adjustments as a result. This is true for both adjustment points on the cheaper stand. It's also true on the more expensive stand for this lower adjustment point for where the boom arm meets the downpipe. However, for this top adjustment, this is where things get interesting. So like I said, this is what they are calling a brake tilter. So what is the brake tilter? It's basically a gearless rotation mechanism, right? So if I loosen this just a little bit, you can see that I can adjust this by very small amounts. There's no teeth that I'm having to compete with. So I can make extremely minute changes as a result. Now, the problem with a brakeless system like that is that it can actually slip on you. So to help with that, so that it doesn't accidentally slip, Gibraltar has also added this little locking mechanism right here. You just adjust this with a drum key and it should stay in place for you, no problem. One other thing to note is that for a lot of these stands that are on the market, including both of the Gibraltars that I was showing you today, they're designed so that the boom arm can actually go straight down into the downpipe. So you basically can convert it into a straight stand. This is somewhat typical whenever you're seeing straight stands where the downpipe diameter is 7/8 of an inch, the slightly bigger one, because then it can actually fit inside. The problem is that this creates a weak point in the stand, and it's actually kind of prone to breakage. As you can see here, I've broken one of these cheaper Gibraltar stands in the past before. I've broken a similar style stand from Sound Percussion as well. So this is not a problem that's a defect that's unique to Gibraltar. It's something just with the design, with allowing for this rotation, it just by design creates a weak point here. On this slightly more expensive Gibraltar stand, just kind of eyeballing this little section of metal, the thickness of the white metal here, it looks to be just about as thick as the cheaper version, which is not great. However, it is wider, it is much wider than the cheaper stand. So hopefully that additional width, that additional metal there will translate into more strength. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any other questions, just shoot them over to me in the comments below and I'll reply back. I am releasing other gear review and cymbal review videos and tips on what kind of mics or preamps to buy and tips on recording your drums at home, all sorts of the whole gambit of drum related things. So if you don't want to miss out on that other stuff, then don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, peace.